Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce our next Hall of Fame, Alumni Hall of Fame inductee. He graduated from, as he would want to say, the Booker T. Washington High School. He was a graduate there. David Porter, DP. We gotta watch, turn our attention to the video screens for more about this amazing man, David Porter, the Soul Man.
I like to say to the people that nominated me for this, who are you? Because I was really surprised when I was told that this is something that people would like to see me honored for.
Well, he's a perfect example of what can happen when you have initiative and you really believe in yourself. He's been able to accomplish so much with so many obstacles in front of him, but through that initiative and that commitment and belief in self, he's been able to do something that so many other students behind him could model.
I have so many memories that are life-changing for me. Just my initial experience with Mr. Nat D. Williams. He was in a brilliant mind as it related to history and the life experiences of so many of our people from way back. And he read, studied, and all those things. He was always impactful in my mind and sharing that with me, sharing those kinds of things with me and other classmates. Several of my classmates were singers. My singing in a vocal group for the first time formed one in Booker T. Washington. So that's just a few of those, but amazing experiences for me.
The music that he makes is timeless because he's connecting into emotions that, as he loves to say, there aren't any new emotions, but he's able to capture them from generation to generation.
The life experience that grounded me and made me whole came from the interaction of so many of the folk in the neighborhood. I'm from Crumpton 3rd, and we had a kind of camaraderie and kind of togetherness that was very special. And that made you feel very comfortable in your own skin, but also willing to take steps for each other in a meaningful way.
I think he has a heart of gold, and a lot of times, people who've interacted with him, sometimes he seems to have this rough exterior, but his grassroots philanthropy, he has helped so many people, and he's been very adamant about making sure that they didn't share the details of what he's done, but he's helped thousands of people here in the city and then across the globe, but he's been very quiet about all that activity.
I say this to anyone, there is no greater feeling than having the abilities or the opportunity rather to interface with your own people and really find out the beauty that exists inside of your own folk. He was getting a kind of energy from that school that gave me the kind of confidence that I didn't care who or what, you were not going to stop me. And that's just what I've always had. And I give credit to that for the experiences that I got at Booker T. Washington High School.
He's like a father to me. Even though we're business partners, he's shared a lot of wisdom that I take to heart, and I really appreciate everything that he's done in my life as well as just the things that we've been able to build together.
The first thing I would say to young folk would be learn about love. Learn to love yourself with the kind of commitment that you do constructive things and meaningful things for yourself and for your life. And through that, you can feel the values that you would give when you give in love to someone else. And you can know how valid it is about what you've done for yourself.
He's certainly a legend in his field because he's certainly been listed as one of the top 100 songwriters ever, as well as being inducted in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. He's an amazing producer, amazing songwriter, but the thing about it that really sticks with me is that he wants to see the next generation thrive. He's committed to supporting them in ways that you really don't find people who've reached a certain level of success, being accessible and willing to teach and willing to share.
I've had a lot of honors in my career and my life, but this is extremely special to me because this goes back to the foundation that made me who I am. The people who thought enough of me to put me in a category that they'd like to honor me in this kind of recognition. I certainly would simply say thank you so very much. And you humble me with the honor that you've given to me. Thank you.
Well said.
All right, Soul Man, the one and only. living legend is here with us in our midst right now. Would you please welcome our next recipient, the SCS Alumni Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. David Porter's in the house. Mr. Porter is in the building. You want to accept your award, do the photo op. This man is amazing. In fact, he is just a gentle giant, but he is just a genius. And as they said on the screen, he gives back. He gives back. Philanthropy at its best. You see him. Come on up, Mr. Porter. And come on, take this podium microphone and have it your way like Burger King. Talk to us. I present David Porter.
Well, thank you so very, very much. I really meant it on that video. I didn't know it was going to show that part, but the mere fact that I'm a product of Memphis, Tennessee, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and the fact that so much support came from the community, people that looked like me, encouraging me with very limited resources. At Rose Hill Baptist Church, Maurice White and I, singing, not 89 years old, and making us feel that we were special. We thought that they were really impressed with our talents. They really were praising God. But the mere fact that beginning, a number of beginnings such as that, and having lived as long and as I have, and been fortunate enough to be proud everywhere I've ever gone, to talk about I've come from Memphis, Tennessee, and tell people what that meant in a meaningful way, that with limited resources and self-pride and love for yourself, and the community giving you that kind of love, in a foundational way in school for me. Miss Flowers in the first grade. Mr. Smith in the sixth grade. He tapped me on the hand. Nat D. Williams at Booker T. Washington High School was my history teacher and a homeroom teacher who gave me so many qualities about pride as a man. Even though I was a young kid, I didn't know what it felt like to drive a car. I said to Mr. Williams one time, I said, Mr. Williams, I would love to drive a car from a family of 12, and we don't have cars, but I would love it. He said, you want to drive a car? I said, yes, sir. He said, here, boy. And he gave me his car key. He said, it's punch buttons. It says D, you punch drive. He says, R, you punch reverse. N, you punch neutral. He said, go about 10 feet in my car. And I got in his car, punch D and went 10 feet. Punch R, backed up 10 feet. Parked his car, and I said, I've learned how to drive, Mr. Williams, thanks to you. But there were so many qualities that were given to me in school, and so much of that is part of the foundation. I've tried to live an example for other young people to aspire for those kinds of things that happen for me. I tell them all the time, I'm not that smart. But what I am is I'm passionate about everything that is about going forward in positive ways for others. And if you get success, if you're able to do something for someone else without bragging about it, without talking about it, you're more successful than anyone could ever dream, except you know it. And so thank you so very, very much. I appreciate it.
One and only, Mr. David D. Porter, our third recipient of the Shelby County School Alumni Hall of Fame Award. He's so deserving. Mr. Porter has studios at 400 Union Avenue. Remember the United Way office there, right in mid, actually towards downtown, made in Memphis, and he's doing extraordinarily good things there in his studio. And he also has a studio, I believe, in Atlanta as well, if I'm not mistaken. So he is reaching other parts of the universe, actually, not just in the South. But thank you for what you do. In fact, I do know that he is, his music has been most sampled by any other person. Well, he's right there at the top of his music being sampled across the world, and this music is just all over the place by rap artists and blues and country artists and those who really admire, respect.